Moon gang. Hello. What is going on, apes? Welcome back to the afternoon session. More than happy to talk with all of you. Let's kind of dive into what isn't going on. Definitely some interesting action, to say the least. Definitely interesting action. Let's go over a couple of things that are going on. I mean, right now, midday, some of the biggest news is actually this Apple event. They did unveil the iPhone 13, new iPads, and Apple Watch. I think it's the Apple Watch 7. I have to admit, maybe other people don't feel this way, but I think the iPhone 13 it's a bit underwhelming. Smaller notch, bigger battery. It's not, I don't know. It doesn't seem like some big, it seems like an improvement. But is it like does it represent like the cost that people are going to have to spend for this? Is it better than the previous one? Yeah, I would say it's like slightly better, but like nothing crazy whatsoever, in my opinion, at least. But who knows? Maybe I'm missing something. Peloton and Weight Watchers stock fall after the Fitness Plus expansion. So they are getting more into that world of health. Here's the Apple Series 7, the watch. I do think that's a big move, I think it's a strong continuation of a move that we've already previously seen from them. They're coming out with a new low-cost iPad mini, so that's kind of cool. I would say it's a mixed bag. I love Ted Lasso. What a great show. So honestly, I think in terms of this Apple announcement that's going on, the phone part of it is kind of like the least exciting. I think the other parts, to me, what's interesting for the business and what's going on, but that's my own takeaway. I'm more interested in knowing their expansion into that health and health fitness sector. I think it's cool that they're getting more of an affordable iPad out there for people. I feel like the iPhone 13, I don't know, nothing too different there, nothing too crazy. But obviously, I guess I'm not alone in this prediction, being the fact that Apple is going down today, currently down 0.8% on the day, dragging it, looking a little bit heavy. Actually, as we're talking, it looks like it's about to have a small additional breakdown. I do think that Apple is headed to the region of 145-ish with this. They were definitely trading at a premium for sure. And I just don't know if this event is living up to expectations. We see a lot of this stuff of buy the rumor, sell the news type of a deal. And I just don't know if the event is like honestly leading up to the expectations. But we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong on it, but I don't know. I mean, I myself, I have an iPhone, and I think I'm still on like the iPhone 6 or something. I've had this bad boy for quite a while. But nothing about the iPhone 13 was like, oh, like I totally have to get this. If I end up getting it, it's exclusively because this phone finally crapped out. But like there was nothing like from a technical perspective that I was like, I need this phone and I need this phone now. So that's kind of the news that's been going on in the midday session. I listened to a bit more of Gensler speaking. Nothing there. The only real thing I would say that came out was right here. Gary Gensler just said that the SEC Gov is very close to releasing their GameStop report. What's funny is that Gensler, who is now being, I guess, referred to as Daddy, he quoted report. Like if you watch the clip of it, it's really interesting. And I don't necessarily mean it in the best way, but he's like, someone asked him, they're like, when are we getting this report? And he's like, oh, you're getting the GameStop report. I'm like, what are you as in it's not a report, or I don't know. I just didn't get it. Like he went out of his way to quote when he was talking about the report. So I was like, did you put any time into this? Are you looking at it? Like what is or isn't going on? I thought it was all a bit confusing. But anyway, so that was kind of some midday. It's a quiet day, folks. It's a very, very, across the market, we're seeing very, very low volume. Today is just not that high interest of a trading day, I suppose, for whatever reason. ATER looks like it's getting its bounce off of 1070. Why would it be bouncing off of 1070? I mean, we knew it gap filled at 1336. Interesting bounce. It kind of overshot this zone here from the end of July, getting that bounce in there. So a little bit of an overshot. I thought the bounce would have come earlier, but things are, at least the bounce is finally engaged on this one. Just so everyone knows, for the sake of transparency, like I said early in the stream, the morning stream, I don't have ATER. And what I decided to do with AMC, I have not touched my GME, but I did touch my AMC. Seeing the low volume, it's just not a good environment for options. So I dropped all of my AMC calls and decided to pick up shares. And I've previously done this when we saw that volume and volatility were drying up. I just don't think it's necessarily the best environment for options. So once again, to repeat, I dropped all of my AMC call options and I just bought shares. So I'm not fighting with theta and volatility and all that. It's once again, the environment started picking up, and previously where I was like, okay, I see some of the reasoning for options right now, but what I'm seeing currently in AMC, dropped all my call options. I had a 3-figure call option amount, dropped all of them and converted to shares of AMC, just for the sake of transparency. I'm getting destroyed by theta. Like I'm just watching it getting destroyed. The volatility's not there. The volume's not there. I have no issue with getting back into AMC call options when the volume and volatility get back. But for the time being, it's way easier for me to just sit on shares. Excuse me. That was a awkward blooper. But no, I just converted over to shares. It's just, I was looking at it and I was like, the volume here, even today, we traded 47 million. Like 47 million, and it's 2 p.m. Like the volume's low right now, and it's going to return one day. This is the natural ebb and flow cycle of the market. So I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the opportunity. But for me, hey, I just saw it as a discount. I was like, okay, I don't like what's going on with the volume volatility, but I do like the price. I do like this support level at 48. So if I'm not liking the volatility, but I do like the price level, the way to play that is stock. So I just want to keep everyone up to date on what I'm doing. Dropped all of my calls, and I will update everything accordingly. And I just picked up more shares. All right. What do we have? Oh, I am behind. Someone became a member for some reason. I can't see the name, but shout out for joining up. Apple has been overrated since Jobs. They force you to buy new products. And they also are like slowing down other existing products, which I'm definitely not the biggest fan of that. Solana getting hit hard by Beta network being down because of Grape, IDO, DeFi protocol, Radium, FYI to all watchers. So Solana getting hit, is that just going to represent a dip buy? A dip buy? I've been looking, if I'm being honest, I've been looking for an opportunity to get into Solana, to get more of it. If you're in it, you're not going to want to hear it, but I very much would prefer that this gets down to 140, 120, just so I could scoop up some more. Would love the opportunity. I don't think it's going to happen, but Solana at 100 is a steal. It is a steal. Love shopping on discount. Also over break, I bought more Hex. I doubled up at least on my initial investment into Hex, because hey, I was like, it dipped, it might be over, and I just want to see if it'll go back up. But once again, the game of Hex is long-term staking, and I don't know if my stake went through yet, but I'm going to be staking this bad boy for like multiple years. Multiple years. So Solana, I don't know, I'm going to set myself an alert, a 140 alert, something like that. Add alert, sure, we'll call the alert that, whatever. I want it to go down just so I can get more. Just so I can pick up some more. What else? I could be wrong, but when looking at another squeeze, charts will do a huge dip before a rip. GME, Tesla, is that fair to compare? No. I don't know if there's like, it might be. I've never been aware of, for something to squeeze, it has to dip first. I don't know if that's like a true and tested like pattern. Are you worried that Hex is like BitConnect? No, not even in the slightest. I mean, those were wildly different things. I mean, Hex is a What is this one? Hex is basically, they took old-fashioned CDs, like bank CDs, and put it on a blockchain. I don't see that connection to BitConnect at all. Like, it's, in terms of all the projects that I've started to learn about, and maybe I'm wrong on Hex, it's like a pretty simple one. It's not some like overly complicated, like mega project. To my understanding, they took bank CDs and said, we'll throw this on a blockchain, like bada bing, bada boom, like dunzo. It's more of like a, if anything, if you were going to attack it, I'd be like, yeah, this is just like rudimentary yield farming, if anything. Like, you just put it in there, like your money's being used, you get paid an interest, you're looking to gain interest on your money. And if you can compound that, I mean, like Warren Buffett said, compound interest is like the eighth wonder of the world. I don't see, David, necessarily the connection to BitConnect. Can you convert my wife to listen to your relationship advice? Gournate, what's going on? What else do we have? Hey Matt, Subaru guy here, back in SPRT at 1380. Could you calculate a 10-day VWAP for SPRT? Merger filing says the final exchange rate depends on it. I don't know if I can. I could try to really quick. SPRT. VWAP. VWAP. I don't know if it's going to... Subaru guy, it's going to be dependent. Do you know if it includes pre and post market trading? I'm assuming it doesn't. Very much assuming it doesn't. Pre and post market. That's somewhere in here. Events. Show. No. It would change VWAP of if you're waiting pre and post market. So we need to dive a bit more into that. Nope. Theta shows negative 0.4 again. I see positive theta. I mean, you'll never have positive theta on calls. Like, literally never. Theta is always a negative value. It has to be a negative value unless like you're Superman and like flying around the earth, and like obviously if you spin the earth around the opposite way, that means that time goes backwards. Like, if you don't believe me, just read a comic book. But theta is always going to be a negative value, Timothy, because time is always working against you, because they're always pitching us that concept that time is like a linear construct. Yeah, so for theta to go positive, you're definitely going to need some time travel. PSA SPRT merger goes live tomorrow 8. One share gets you 1 GRE guaranteed gains before the 10-day weighted average that determines GRE price. So with this, I'm a little bit hesitant to comment on the exact proportion conversion on SPRT. I don't have any SPRT right now, just so everyone knows. I want to be very, very clear about that. Please be careful. With it, it could go well here, but I mean, I'm just saying do your DD on it. Hey Matt, thoughts on CEI? Looks like a chase at first, but don't think so. Great news, higher volume. I like the setup. Let me know. I would say it's a chase. I mean, CEI has been running for like 2 weeks now or something. It's totally a chase. It's up 23% today after moving since August 20th. Like, that's what chasing is. It's up what? Yes, this is a chase. If you want to chase it, if you're feeling good about it, have at it. Like, I wouldn't chase it, but I mean, it's up 420% almost, 415%. Going up 415% from August 20th until now, that's chasing. That is chasing. If you want to chase, good luck. Like, maybe you have a reasonable risk. Like, maybe you're just like, oh, well, I'm going to risk $1.50 and I'm cool with that. Like, if you're just pick out a risk and have at it, but like, don't try to tell yourself you're not chasing, because you are chasing, and you might make money off of it. You can chase and make money. It's possible, but you're also increasing the chances of you being a bag holder. So I just want you, I'm not saying to not to, I'm just saying be careful and understand the situation that you're stepping into. What's the crypto app to invest? And no, I need Matt Kohrs code. Oh, wait. I think I even forgot to talk about this morning. So if you're trying to get in on this, supported coins. Here's Voyager. The code is MAT21, MAT21. But if you download Voyager, you just download it, put in that code MAT21. I think there's also a link in the description. This is for US residents, and the current deal is when you trade $100 of any crypto, you get an extra $25 of Bitcoin. So let's say you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, they'll give you an extra 25, and right there you have a 25% buffer. Another one that you can download is Public. Both of these are apps you download to your phone. Public is for stocks. You get up to $70 of free stock trading. But what's best is no payment for order flow, no dark pools, no market makers. If you want to take money away from Citadel Securities and Virtu, Public's probably the easiest one to do it. There are other brokerages that route your orders directly to a lit exchange, but I would strongly argue that Public is the best. Public is about to roll out their own crypto trading, and it has no options trading, just so you know. Public is much more of you're investing in good companies and you're going to be in it for a bit of time type of a deal. But anyway, Public, that is, I think, pinned to the top of chat. If not, it's in the description of the video. But you download Public, you download Voyager, both phone apps. Public, you just have to go to public.com/Matt Kohrs. Voyager, you would just put in the code MAT21. I think I can get rid of that now. All right, let's see if there's any new Apple updates. I guess a better battery. iPhone 13, $699 or $799. Always a way to get $1,000 out of you, Apple. I think that's their business model, is how can we get $1,000 out of the most people possible? That does seem to be like their overall business model. Please, chasing on CEI. Dangerous. Playing with fire, folks. Playing with fire. Just found out a Cash App does payment for order flow, and now I downloaded Public yesterday. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, all of those ones, there's not many free apps that I know of that don't do payment for order flow. Robinhood, payment for order flow. Webull, payment for order flow. Cash App, payment for order flow. I'm telling you, in terms of just like an app, what is this bug doing? An app that you just want to download and you just don't have to think. Like, for example, Fidelity, free trading, no payment for order flow. But if you're not routing your orders, then there's a high statistical likelihood that your order is still going to Citadel. But if you're using the Fidelity Active Trader Pro and you route it, well, you could route it wherever you want. So then it's up to you and you could put it on a lit exchange. So if you don't want to go through those extra hoops of like, okay, am I doing a lit exchange, or am I doing a dark pool, or am I doing wholesale retailers such as Citadel or Virtu? So easy to use Public. And try it out. So here's your biggest issue with Public. You try it out, you download it, you get up to potentially $70 of free stock, which it takes a bit to hit your account, but you get it. If you don't like it, just don't use it. Just take your money then, take your free money and leave. Like, it's really simple. Is it bugging you, Craig? I love that joke. Jay Fleming, thank you. All right, SDC. What's going on with Smile Direct Club? Smile Direct Club. Smile Direct Club. SDC. So it is down 1.5% today. Did it gap fill? Oh yeah, it gap filled today. I think this plays over. It took, when it got moving, it took 2 days for it to actually gap fill to 664. Look at it, hit 665 today, and this low was 663. So it overshot the gap fill by 2 cents. I think this play is now done. That's what I was looking at it for, was a gap fill play. It's now gap filled, so I'd be content with it. What is going on in my futures account? Maybe I can have a little bit of fun. Welcome to the moon, gang, brother. Okay, dokay. Where are we at? AMC dips every 6 days. Is that a pattern? I can back test that for you. I haven't heard of that pattern. It very well could be one. I would have to do some some back checking to see. I don't know if that's necessarily one. Could definitely be one, but I just haven't heard of it yet. But I'm more than happy to back test it. Ali, shout out, becoming an astronaut. I appreciate that. Look at the AMC 1 month chart. Every 6 day AMC dips and then goes to a higher high. Today would be 6 days since the last dip before the rip. Well, let's check it out. Let's give it a little bit of testing. A little bit of testing. All right, so you're saying it dipped today. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start marking these out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or am I off by day? Like every 6th day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know if you're kind of doing like an inclusive or exclusive count. So here's 1 day, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excuse me. Just allergic to all this market bullshit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Did I do that one right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I count these all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 30. I think I'm off on this one. I think I'm off, team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let me redraw this guy just so it's obvious what we're talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I might have severely messed this up, and this is why you need to backtest it and actually code it up and get the results. This seems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So every 6th day, I mean, it's not the most like apparent pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like it seems like it's a pattern as of recently, but not. I guess what's the time frame? Like, is this a pattern that we're seeing year to date? Is it a pattern that we're seeing since the start of August? Like, I need a little bit of a time frame, but that's something that we could easily backtest because I've been saving AMC's daily information as a data set for me to do like some additional back testing on. So I'll mess around with it tonight. Oh, someone is saying TMI already back tested every 6 day trends. Interesting. Every 6 days. Well, what was his result on it? I mean, it's like something like that's pretty basic to just kind of like queue up and test. We could look at it. I guess year to date is kind of the data. I've been collecting data on AMC since January 1st. Thanks for all you do. Can you explain the super trend indicator? AMC reacts a lot when it crosses different time. So that one's actually been called out to me by M in Discord. I don't know the math behind the super trend indicator, so I don't know if I could explain it to the best, but it does seem like AMC seems to react to it. Were more shares borrowed today than short? I don't believe so. No, there was a notable return, 3.92 million. They borrowed 2.7, 6.62 million were returned. Does that track what happened 2 days ago? 1, 2. Yeah. I think it's reasonable that sometime between September 9th and 10th on the breakout of $50, that 6 million could have covered a short position. I do think that's pretty reasonable. 50 is a major technical breakout. I think people are like, we're going to risk 50. It went above 50 and they covered on that. I mean, it was just 6 million and we're trading like almost 100 per day. So between this period of looking strong and them returning 6, I think that's a pretty viable. TMI said on 1 month, it is correct. So if you're looking at 1 month, that's at most 4 data points, maybe 5 data points. And in the world of statistics, that is not viable. That is not a viable amount of for a data set. You would want to do more. That's not enough to extrapolate out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Going back 1 month, it's just not enough of a sample size. That doesn't mean it's not valid. It means the conclusion you're drawing is the confidence interval is going to be a bit off. You're not going to have the best confidence interval on it. But I could back test that to actually. Would I be able to do that right now? Let me get this data set. Apps. Chart analysis. AMC time frame daily settings window. All right, we want to go back to, everyone was saying January 1st. How do I pick that date? Status line, font, color. No, must not be in here. Data. I'll have to mess around with this time frame. I'm going back, and I feel like the data before 2020 is probably data we don't want to use in this test. And I'm getting data from back to whatever it was, 2012, but I don't know if that really makes the most sense to use. Windows, preferences. Display symbol. Yeah, I'm gonna have to mess around with this. I don't want to waste too much time on it at the moment. But with it, just be careful about your sample sizes. Just because you see something like, oh, it's done it 4 times. I don't know if I would call that a pattern. Costin becoming an astronaut. Check out CYBL. Cyber looks like it's going up. What do you think about Bank of America buying 135 million share yesterday in calls, puts, and shares? Are they converting to apes or know something? Calls, puts, and shares. Yeah, you never know. With a big bank like that, the exposure they are or aren't carrying and what they're attempting to do, it's tough. Do you know when TTG guys are going to contact the winners of the AMC Theater giveaway you guys had on Sunday? Yeah, Crystal, they should be dropping you. So today, early this morning, I got the handle. So 4 of the 5 people that won the private screening reached out, you being one of them. So I sent all those usernames to Adam at TTG. So he should be DMing you on, and I'll confirm post stream that he DMs all of you today. How are they getting shares to short? It's so frustrating to see people paper hand when they manipulate the price. How are they? Our utilization's not 100%. There's literally 12 million shares out there right now that could be short. between all the prime brokers right now, the major prime brokers, there are still 12 million shares that are willing to be lent that are yet to go out on loan. So where are they getting them? From people who are lending them. There's like 12 million still out there. And that's just as of now. Obviously, the number is pretty dynamic, but that's where they're getting them. What do you think will happen if big hedge funds that are long on AMC like Vanguard, Vanguard's a money manager, not a hedge fund, just so you know, pulls out their positions before a potential squeeze? I mean, if they pull out as in they sell, there's it goes down. That's in a lot of demand. If someone like Vanguard tries to sell 30 million shares of AMC, of course it'll go down, but they're not going to do that. Do you know, like, it's very, very difficult for them to get out of 30 million shares. So they would do it over quite a while. Like, you can't just, AMC is not liquid enough, like, out of nowhere just to absorb 30 million. It would be net detrimental to themselves because they would sell like 1 million. It would cause the price to go down. Like, and as they continue to sell, they're going to get worse fills on all the following shares. So what they would do ideally is do it slowly over time and do it into strength to not like upset what, like, I mean, they do not want to dump 30 million themselves because they would not get a good fill on, like, they would get a good fill on like the first couple shares. And then after that, by the time you get to the end, they would have driven the price of AMC down so far. They don't want to lose money on the deal. All right. Can you take a look at it? 100% utilization and starting to run. People are asking about TMC. I guess the Discord is talking about it. So TMC, I don't like the chart because it just started trading and it doesn't, did I miss something? Randy, I mean, it doesn't look like it's running. It looks like it's doing the opposite. There is support at 1250, but anyway, I could pull up the numbers on it. I'm not the biggest fan of it just because it just recently started trading, so I don't even know what the good levels are. I don't know where the levels of support or resistance are at. But TMC, yeah, I mean, it's so new that it doesn't even really have the numbers it should have. Shares on loan. It is 100%. It looks like it's a lower float. Current short instruments is estimated to be 2 million or 1.2 million. Outstanding shares is 30 million. The data is just not clear on it. Like, Ortex is looking like a mess, and I think this is just a function of it. If I had to guess, it's short interest. The shares on loan, 400,000. It comes up by 1, so we're at 1.5 divided by 30. Is it short interest? 1.5 divided by 30. It looks like it's short interest is 5% on TMC. I don't really see the play there, but maybe I'm missing something. But yeah, on TMC, I guess I'm just not seeing it. Not seeing it. You play with spreads at all? Yeah, I mean, I love selling like spreads. I mean, it's not exciting in the terms of like making like massive percentage home run swings all the time, but it's a great monthly income strategy, selling spreads. And if you want to buy spreads, that's a great way to engage in the options market with taking on less risk. SPRT getting beaten down 13, BBIG getting beaten down to 8. Tesla, I mean, everything, folks, look how red everything is today. We're just seeing red. Today is a risk off day, which is definitely a bit of a bummer. ATER is sub 12. SPRT is at 13. BBIG is at 8. Man, oh man. We're seeing selling today, folks. Selling. But you know what that means? Honestly, when I see days like today, these are my more active days where I'm like, okay, what is on my shopping list? The days where everything is ripping and green, and I know it's counterintuitive. I know it emotionally doesn't feel the best, but when I see red, that's why I bought today. I was a net buyer today because I buy on weakness. When the days are green and everything's ripping, honestly, like, those are exciting days for me because I get to watch my P&L move, but I'm not really a buyer on green days. I sit when everything's green and ripping. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is fun. It's days like today. I mean, I even said it. I bought AMC today. I like the dip. I bought it like closer to 48. So on the newest buy, I'm a little bit underwater right now, but I still bought on a dip. It's that simple. Days like these are why single malts were invented. Just keep the faith. I mean, I've been here, folks, and we've seen this before. Hang on, let me get rid of this indicator. How do I get rid of this? I don't want this here anymore. All right, there. People are going to be bummed out because we're down on one day. Like, I don't. Ask yourself this. Do you think it's acceptable for a stock market that naturally ebbs and flows to go from, what is this? Why is my hotkey not working? As of yesterday's close, we were up 67%, and now today we're down 8%. Like, that's, what would you rather? Would you rather that we drop 67% and rally 7.8%? Or would you rather that we rally 67% and then drop 7.8%? Like, the numbers, the odds are still on our side. Like, the number we're at now, all it's done is erase the past 2 days. We are now trading at the highs of the 24th when we were all stoked. Like, literally right now, this day, August 24th, when we were all losing our mind, having a great time, excited for what was going to happen next, we are at that price level. We are, like, it's honestly that simple. Like, I think a lot of people are like, all we're doing, and the community is a bit too focused on, like, we always have to beat like exactly the high we were just at. That is not how a stock moves. We shoot up, it takes a breather. We base, we shoot up, it takes a breather. We have been shooting up from August 12th all the way till September 13th. Like, that was a rocket. Like I said, we gained 68%. Now we're taking a breather. I don't know. I think people kind of think of this situation really incorrectly. Look how, like, we're up. We are fighting. This is one red day in, like, us fighting back to this junk to an all-time high. If one red day, I guess, puts you, I don't know. I don't know the best way to articulate this besides the fact this is a natural aspect of trading. If you need to do whatever's most appropriate for you to, like, handle your emotional reaction to red days, because in the world of trading, even the best traders have red days. The best traders in the world still have red days, and whatever the best coping mechanism is for you, you're going to need it. But right now, I mean, I'm telling you, at least in my own opinion, like I said, I just bought more. I was like, oh, sick, a dip. Like, it shoots up, it's running. I buy the dip, it dipped, it could base. It might go down a little bit more if it comes down more. I think 42 is a great buy. I think 45 is a great buy. I buy at support and I look for it to rip through resistance. It's really nothing too special beyond that. It truly, truly isn't. But don't forget that in all reality, like, we're up quite a bit ever since, like, the summer session. And to have, like, one bad day, that's okay. That's okay. A-okay in my book. What? Norm Macdonald passed away? Yeah, it looks like the comedian SNL, like, I mean, he did a lot in the world of comedy. He passed away at 61 following a lengthy cancer ordeal. Ah, that's sad. Hmm. He had a 9-year battle with cancer. Jeez. And well, his family's definitely in my thoughts. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. For the AMC pattern, you have to count backwards. Today is 6. Yesterday is 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, and the day before is 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I mean, I'll check it out, but still, if it's only valid for like the past month, that's not a valid pattern. That's not, like, you need more. Mateo, hello. Works thoughts on the Ortex data. WORX. Short interest of point, not even 1%. That is not a squeeze play. Does not really, if that's what you're looking for. But I mean, also remember, folks, if you want to check out Ortex, like, you could look at Ortex till you're blue in the face. There's a free week trial in the description of the video. So if I don't get to the thing that you want me to check out, just so you know, like, there, you could use it all week long and do what you need to do. Oh, hang on. I didn't want to be on this. Of course, I'm happy to see the recent gains. Just sad to see AMC finally reacting to market, as last few days it seems to have gone against the market. Yeah, I mean, so it's fighting a ton. And like, it's just right now, people are obviously risk off. I mean, Apple's selling, IWM selling, like, everything's just selling. GameStop is holding up. GameStop actually showing quite a bit of relative strength. I mean, ATER is down 35%. SPRT is down 30%. BBIG is down 15%. Everything I have up here is in the red. At this point, we would want it to drop 10% to hit SSR trigger price, lose the power for the day. No, because SSR does not protect us as much as, like, it's, I guess, touted to protect us. Would I rather it just not drop 10%? Of course, because SSR doesn't do squat, really. They say it does, but it doesn't. Well, I'm long on CRSR long term. I think it could be a midterm squeeze play. Ortex steadily climbing with price steadily climbing chart, please. Yeah, I agree with you. That's been my, like, previous commentary on CRSR. It just needs to continue to put the pressure on the shorts. Hang on, it's not loading. I don't know, it's not loading. There we go. Come on there. The price has been more stagnant, not really climbing. If it pushes above 30, it definitely gets interesting. But you want it above 30. It's more been sideways, like a bunch of wicks. So you're looking for that breakout above 30. Looking for that breakout above 30. 5K to invest. What's a good point on where to say away, not financial advice? Well, this isn't just for Ethereum or anything. Overall, my rhetoric is not going to change. You buy at support and you pay attention to how it reacts to resistance. If you buy at support and it breaks below your support, well, you just cut it for a very, very small loss. So in terms of 5K, I mean, if I were you, I wouldn't just simply throw 5K at a stock, especially if that represents a large percentage of my portfolio. I would scale into it. You could do 5 buys of 1,000 each of something that you like. And if you really like it, especially for the long term, well, then you just kind of hold it for like a while. You just like kind of cost average over a couple days, couple weeks. And if you're really happy with the investment, then that's when you just like sit there. But ATER, I mean, I can't tell anyone what a good point is because I don't know your risk. If you want to be really aggressive and you're really risky, you could kind of buy it like really honestly whenever. But if you're a bit more conservative, you wouldn't want to target major levels of support, or maybe not at all, because ATER is not a conservative play. It's more of inherently a high risk play. But what I would do and what you should do, Alex, are two different things, because we have two different financial situations. We have two different personalities, which means we have two different levels of risk tolerance. What works for me might not be what works for you, and what works for you might not be what works for me. I could call out the levels of support I see on ATER. I mean, a gap fill. We all knew there was going to be a chance for a gap fill. Honestly, 10... It's $10 and $9 are the big support. $10 and $9, I would say, are the big support, followed by 8. So it goes 8, 9, 10 are the major levels of support on ATER. What else do we have? IWM. You know, out of my own curiosity, if on today, if you were similar to me, today on, what is it, September 14th, if you happen to buy more AMC or GME today, shares, not calls, and you bought it today on this calendar date, like drop a diamond in chat. I'm just kind of curious anecdotally how many people use today as a buying opportunity. I'm not asking for the amount or the price or anything like that. I'm just curious, out of the 12,000 people in here, how many were actually net buyers of AMC, GME? Just drop a diamond in chat. Look at this. Look at these diamonds coming in. Look at these diamonds coming in. Look at that. So and like I said, is this a valid like research project? No. But anecdotally, if you're questioning what are the apes doing, I would say this is a pretty good swath of the people who are involved in this. And look at it. You have buyers. You have buyers. You have buyers. I myself was a buyer today. Oh my God, I didn't know Norm Macdonald had cancer. One of the very best comedians ever, an absolute OG who will be sorely missed by fans. Today's a sad day for comedy in general. I know Moon Gang's Turd Ferguson is mourning him, but R.I.P. Norm. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, I thought he was a hilarious comedian. Yeah, it said that he had a secret battle with cancer for 9 years. That's crazy. I know you didn't ask, but I bought 5K more today, roughly 100 shares. Shout out Untamed Faith. Not much will phase me at this point. I buy and hold and buy again. Volume is low, as well as there are going to be swings. I wonder how much control people have when the swings are 30% or higher. Good buy on Clove. I know volume is still low, but I like the 8 support. I'm not the biggest fan of Clove, Elijah. It just doesn't really meet my credentials of these FTD squeeze plays. I don't believe it's on the threshold list, so I wouldn't really mess around with it. When you come up with a trading methodology, it's generally not a good sign when you start like bending your rules. So in these FTD squeeze plays, high short interest, I'm looking for something definitely above 20. I'm looking for a lower float. I'm looking for high utilization, like hopefully above 95%. I want it to be on the FTD list, and I want it to start breaking above the small moving averages. Like I want the price to be above the 3-day, the 5-day, the 10-day, something like that. Like I want to see the price action start going upward. All right, the market. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Like I said at the start of this stream, just to hedge everything a little bit, I bought I went short on one SPY futures contract. They're very, very expensive. So it's definitely a day trade. And it's like, I mean, I got it around up here. So it's really not that much. And it's up $300 right now. But I need this back. I mean, this does not put my portfolio in the net positive on the day. It's been a rough day for old Matty boy between cutting my AMC calls and just my overall portfolio. I made the stupid decision to check in on my long-term account today. Why do people do that? Why do you like, oh, it's so bad. Let's see how much more bad everything can be. So I checked in on everything today, and I was seeing a bunch of red across the board, but hey, it happens. Where's that Solana dip? I have the alert at 142. Maybe I'll just put a sitting order in at like 135 if I could get that snagged. I'm kind of looking at like this consolidation region. I like Solana. I have a small amount and I want to get more. Like I want to be like what I would consider like more of a serious investor in it. I have several put options on SPRT. I can't seem to get an accurate answer on what happens to them tonight after merger. Gary, so to everything I can find, it does look like it'll just be a proper conversion. So whatever the proportionate amount would be, it would look that then you would have it be betting against GREE. But the best way for you to find that out, because I don't want to steer anyone wrong, just call up your broker. I don't know who you have, but Gary, I think it'll just convert for you without you having to do anything, but give your broker a quick call. And if you happen to do that today before the stream ends, let me know and I would love to share what they tell you to the rest of the group. And obviously, if it's a long answer, feel free to like just tag a mod in it and they can get it to me. Feel free to DM me. I say that, but my Twitter DMs are apparently just like not working. AMC about to test the upward channel, bottom trend line established 820. If it trends, keeps a touch and breaks upward no later than Thursday. D Lemmings. What determines the premium on a call? I want to buy AMC call, but it's like a $7 premium. I thought the premium would go down in price. Premium for an option contract, whether a call or a put, is decided by the volatility of the stock, the time until the expiration, as in the time until your expiration date, and also then the price of your stock. Those are the three main things that come into effect. And actually, that's kind of like one of the famed models. You might have heard of the Black-Scholes model. That was like notoriously one that people were using for options pricing. Matt, have you seen that JCS is offering a $3.50 dividend for shares owned on 930? Yeah, someone was talking about that this morning. I saw the gap up, and I saw the gap up in a bit of weakness. I never think it's a good idea to chase a gap up because like I know from my own research that there's such a statistical advantage to playing gap fills. So why would I buy on a gap up when I know the odds say that eventually there's a gap fill? Matt, did you say you cut your long-term AMC calls? I never really had long-term AMC calls, so I don't know what you mean by that. I had AMC calls that were scattered between, at this point, this week and scattered between the September and October monthlies. But right now, the volume drying up, the volatility is drying up, so I just converted over to AMC stock, and I'm just waiting for volatility to return. Was just able to check my accounts. What is happening at SPRT? Sorry if you covered it already, but didn't ADA move much after the 12th? Do you know why? Yeah, I mean, like this, you're going to commonly hear that saying, buy the rumor, sell the news. And the reason that's a saying is because it's super, super true. It's a saying because it has a lot of truth behind it. So right now with Cardano, trading at $2.37. Honestly, that's pretty solid still. Like Cardano, I mean, if it touches 2, I'll buy more. But buy the rumor, sell the news. It's very rare that you see. It's very, very rare that you see the excitement of some sort of event actually match the prices and the delivery match that level of excitement. So that's what happened. Nothing went wrong in the launch, whatever. Alonzo is alive and well. Cardano is currently up there with smart contracts, but now it's just going to make a new base and kind of start moving from there. Someone just said, ADA is going to flop. Watch your butts. Oh, I highly disagree. I think Cardano and Ethereum, Polygon, and Solana are like four of the best opportunities in the entire crypto market. I mean, the utility and the way that our technology is trending, I feel so strongly that Ethereum, Cardano, Solana, and Polygon, Matic, fast forward a decade, if technology keeps trending the way it is right now, it's those things are going to be sky high. Sky high. Bullish divergence, AMC on multiple time frames. We finally finding a bottom. I'm not seeing quite a bounce yet on the 5 minute. I'm watching that to see what does or doesn't happen. But I mean, right now it's the definition of oversold. Like it's not going to be the craziest thing if as early as tomorrow we're actually seeing the bounce initiated. Just like if you pull up the RSI, seriously oversold. Like you said, we're seeing bullish divergence. Shout out to Diamond Dallas page. The stock has gone lower. The RSI is higher. That just tells us that there's less bearish momentum, more bullish momentum. People are starting to step in. Not enough at the moment. We want to see more. But today, folks, I don't think... Would I love to see the bounce today? Of course. But what we're seeing across the market in general, there's a good chance that this bleeding continues until market close today. There is a chance. And that's okay. Like, just be prepared for it. This is why I tell everyone to always have a plan, because if you have a plan, you know how to react. You know your levels, you know your risk, you know your reward. If you have a plan, anything that happens in between that plan, in between the levels you care about, it's just all noise. It's just all fodder. Thoughts on Doge upside potential? Can you see the chart is showing bearish? Doge is you just can't discount the value of such a crazy awesome community. They are huge supporters, and you just have to wait. Right now in the short term, is it looking bearish? Yeah. I mean, anyone that can see this chart can tell you it's looking bearish in the short term. Starting from mid-August until now, all it's done is go down. But hey, we've seen these pockets of weakness in crypto before, eventually creates a base and then moves again. So with Doge, I mean, I own Doge. I'm not giving up on it. I still have it. I don't see how the Doge story ends, and maybe at the earliest after it hits $1. I just don't. There's too many people that have Doge and are interested in Doge. I just don't see how it ends. I still think it hits one of those major levels, a major dollar level. David, shout out. Justin, what's going on? All right, I think I'm there. I intend to hold Doge for 10 years. Shout out Devin's Law. I'm going to hold mine until it keeps going. Do you follow Richard Hart on Hex? Would be a fantastic interview. I do. The guy is such a character. Such a character. I think it's crazy. I think he's an interesting fella, to say the least. Interesting. Do you think there are chances of a 56 call for October 29th after this dip? Unhedging is scary. $56 for over the next 6 weeks? Of course. I mean, AMC could hit 56 tomorrow without like it being like that crazy. 56, is that like theoretically possible by October 29th? Of course it is. Of course it is. All right, let me check out some of this stuff. Let me check out some of this stuff. AMC net return of 3.72 million today. Short interest of 19.26%. GME and net return of 25,000. A short interest of 13.68%. All right, we are seeing more and more bullish divergence in AMC. So the bears, the sellers, they're running out of steam. Running out of steam. What do you think about the Motley Fool article today on AMC? Yeah, I read it. I didn't want to really give it any attention just because it's the same thing. It's nothing new. It's another person. Actually, it's not even another person. It's the same person. Sean Williams. What's his name? TMF Ultra Long. Dude, the dude's a ding dong. The dude is a keyboard warrior that like somehow got employed at Motley Fool. That's all he is. Nothing more, nothing less. The dude is a leech on our community, and it's honestly our community that has like made him have any relevance. But if you look into it, and everyone check it out, I'm not saying to not read it. I'm just saying all you're going to read is the exact same crap of it's fundamentally overvalued. That means nothing to us. We've heard that before. Like, is anyone surprised right now? If you're listening to me, are you like, oh, wait, what? AMC is fundamentally over. We all know that. We all know that. It's not new news. He must have been falling off in terms of relevance. And he's like, I got to put one of these articles out again. And then he hits up his buddy, Sorry Charlie, and he gets him to retweet it. So it gets a couple extra views. Same thing. Same tune, different day. What is the plan when 99% of the shareholders are saying AMC going into hundreds minimum? I've never seen a metric like that. Where did you get 99% of shareholders are saying AMC going into hundreds minimum? It could very, very well be true. I just don't know. Like, I didn't know. I guess I must have missed like the meeting. I guess I'm pointing this out. Do I think you're right? Do I think that most AMC apes believe it's going to go to like at least that? Yeah, I do. But Jonathan, the reason I'm saying this is just one of the plagues of our community is people just putting things out there with no due diligence, no sources, nothing. And then that loses our community credibility. So just be very, very careful when you're trying to throw out metrics like that. Would I think that most apes think AMC is going sky high? Yeah, that's why they're apes. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying be careful about putting out things there if you don't have like a source to back it up. But I do believe you're actually right. Hey, Matt, what's your opinion on call options expiring this Friday from today's sell-off? Is there a rumor for potential gamma squeeze I heard? My opinion for call options this Friday is it's way, way too close. We're in Tuesday. And if it's one of the things I finally get across in this channel, anyone who actively listens, I really want to express the danger of buying those weekly lottos. It's just not enough time. Like, if you really dive into the math of how gamma, delta, vega, especially theta, of how they all work, the more you learn about options, the more you're going to understand why you should not buy weekly lotto plays. I'd rather you be our daddy than Gigi any day. Man, that was the one good thing about today was the humor involved in that politician calling Gary Gensler a daddy. Like, who would have known? When Jen checked DM in Discord, I read a study that 90% of statistics are made up. Could be. All right, where are we at? AMC finally getting a little bit of buying. Let's see how it reacts to this trend line. We just started Power Hour, but hey, folks, today, on days like today, you're going to have these red days and we're not going to have that same enthusiasm, but we can learn about other things. So actually, as I'm saying that, if someone wants to do a run through, we could talk about unusual whales. We could talk about Tiblio. We could talk about covered calls. We could talk about selling spreads. We could talk about straddles, strangles, iron condors, butterflies. Let me know. And like what I see the most people commenting on, we're going to talk about that. Someone said Megan Fox. We could do a technical breakdown of Megan Fox. We could, what do you guys want to learn about? I'm more than happy to dive in and have a conversation about that. Options. Do you want to learn about futures? Do you want to talk about crypto? Do you want to talk about Ortex? Do you want to talk about, I don't know, whatever. You let me know and we'll talk about it. Would you rather go short on AMC or on tulips? In the short term, I would go short on tulips, as we were talking about yesterday. Apparently, tulips don't grow in the winter. So if I had to take a quick short-term short, it would be on tulips, because AMC, it's still dangerous. We're in the high 40s. Someone just said Megan Fox. Yes, sir. All right, couple questions. Here, let me actually write some of these down, because I think we're going to have time to go over all of them. All right. Let's do just a bunch of education. All right, so some people. So we have to go into Megan Fox. That'll be an interesting thing for me to put together. Quadruple Witching. Quadruple Witching. We can talk about that. What else do I see a lot of? People specifically interested in SPRT. All right, we will talk about that. Quadruple Witches, option spread. Unidentified extraterrestrial vehicles. That's a good one. I don't know what I would be adding to that, though. Spreads. Tiblio. All right, we're going to do that. Inflation. I mean, we could talk a little bit about inflation. Yep, got that down. What else do I see a lot of? Megan Fox covered spreads. Whoa, brother. Big super chat. Matt, I have unusual whales, but I'm having a difficult time figuring out what to look at before making a move. Can you break down what you should be looking at? I could do a little bit. I think unusual whales will honestly, I feel like I should make an entire playlist for unusual whales. So I could go through it like very quickly, but I think all the individual parts deserve like their own little mini video. People are talking about BBIG. How to exercise puts, covered spreads, covered calls. All right, what else do we have? Yes, please. Okay. Witching. All right, this is enough. Let's see how far this actually takes us. But hang on, let me check one thing. Let me check one thing. All right, hang on. Where is the Discord? I don't know how to use my own Discord. All right. Drama. Everywhere we go. No matter where you look, high or low, There is drama, but you never know. You never know what drama is going to lead to. But all right. By popular demand, we are hopping into this education system, and this is going to be a bit of a smorgasbord. And it's 3:09, so we have about 50 minutes left together today. So honestly, this might be the most highly requested one. I'll leave the stocks up, so I'm going to do a lot of talking. Here's what we need to know about Megan Fox. We're starting this off with Megan Fox. Megan Fox is 35 years old. She was born in May of 1986 in Tennessee. She is coming in at a height of 5'4". She used to date Brian Green, was recently divorced in 2020. She has 3 children, and she is currently dating Machine Gun Kelly, and I think his name is Colson something or other. What do we need to know about Megan Fox? Megan Fox is in a lot of movies and shows, surprisingly. I didn't know she was in this much. What do we really need? Let's do some TA on her net worth. Megan Fox net worth, as if any of these are ever accurate. But it says that her net worth is about $8 million, if I had to guess. It's probably more than that. If I had to guess. There's no way she's only worth $8 million. She probably comes in closer to like $20 million. So divorced? I didn't know that. I didn't know she was 35. It looks like the most recent news on her is she went to the VMAs with said boyfriend, MGK, and there was a squabble with Conor McGregor. Honestly, I know her best from her acting with Shia LaBeouf in the movie Transformers. She was in a couple of them. I think, though, and I'm not reading this, I think she got into a fight with the director, and that's why she wasn't back. She owns a huge house in California worth $3 million. Huge house. And she's in a lot. How many movies is she in? She's in a lot. IMDb, Megan Fox. Did they give you a count? Very successful actress. Ooh, here's some. In 2008, she was ranked number 1 in the 25 hottest actors under 25. She's a huge fan of Star Trek and Star Wars. She just has won a lot of awards based on her aesthetics. She owns 2 goats, a dog and a cat. All right, I think that's honestly enough technical breakdown on Megan Fox. Well, what else can we get into? I think this could be a good one. Could be a good one right here. You guys want to know about quadruple witching? I happen to know some kid out there who made a great quadruple witching video. Let's see what this kid has to say. All right, let's see. This is what you need to know about quadruple witching, which is this Friday. Let's let this kid take the reins.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt, and I'm coming at you through the interwebs again to talk about quadruple witching. Ooh, I know it's a pretty weird sounding financial term, but knowing what it is and its implications will help you be better prepared for some surprising market moves. For example, I recently saw the headlines, Quadruple Witching hits stock market, sparking bursts of trading, and will quadruple witching mark the start of a rocky stretch for US stocks? So the question is, what are they talking about? If you're anything like me, hearing the term quadruple witching might make you wonder what these 4 chicks have to do with the stock market. I hate being the bearer of bad news, but the answer is apparently nothing. Quadruple witching is when 4 different types of market contracts expire on the same day. This happens once every quarter and specifically takes place on the third Friday of every March, June, September, and December. Okay, Matt, why should I give a hoot? You should be aware of quadruple witching because these days are commonly associated with higher volume and higher volatility, especially in the last trading hour of the day. That's where a lot of the funny business happens. You see, many traders, both institutional and retail, are being forced to make a multitude of decisions. Positions have to be closed, new ones have to be opened, contracts have to be rolled over. All this action creates an environment where large price swings are likely. Picture the last few rounds of musical chairs. I don't think I need to remind you, but things can get a little dicey. Now, higher volume and volatility doesn't technically mean anything directly. I have found no evidence or research that suggests quadruple witching is associated with down days, up days, trend reversals, or anything like that. It typically just means you should expect more drastic price swings. It is possible for just some of these contract expirations to coincide. They are aptly named triple witching and double witching. Since less traders are being forced to make decisions, the volume and volatility spike is less than with quadruple witching. As you've probably already pieced together, quadruple witching can foster a unique opportunity for sizable returns. But depending on what side of the trade you're on, those returns can be positive or negative. Definitely approach these events with caution. I wanted to quickly mention that there are some traders who look to take advantage of possible arbitrage opportunities as the bigger fish, institutions, look to roll their positions into the next contract. These large block trades can create temporary price distortions which can be traded until equilibrium is met. There really isn't much more to quadruple witching. You shouldn't be anxious when one comes around. Rather, you should understand what's happening and when they take place so you're not caught off guard by abnormal price swings. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by hitting the like button. If you didn't enjoy the video, I'm surprised you made it this far, but you should still let me know by hitting the like button. If you enjoy this type of content, subscribe to the channel. I put out new videos every week. Best of luck in the markets and watch out for those witches.
Oh man, I don't know who that kid is. I think he just learned how to speak. Like really, like that. I feel like that was an artificial intelligence creation that like had the weakest language package maybe, and like they didn't even, the humor was there, but like that delivery. But I don't know. You could follow that channel. He's somewhere out there. Like, but that's painful. Anywho, that kid that didn't have a haircut, it looked like for about 6 months, probably because it was a pandemic. He was right. He was right about a lot of things in there. Quadruple witching is coming up. 4 major types of contracts are all expiring. 2 options, 2 futures, and all it is, it's higher volatility, higher volume, because people, because of expiration, are being forced to make decisions. I think in that video that Ding Dong had an example about like how the last couple rounds of musical chairs gets like really amped up, and he's right. I mean, even though he doesn't know how to speak properly, I think that was a really good analogy. I mean, like, do you know how many friendships I've lost because in the last couple rounds of musical chairs? I mean, everyone's just going freaking buck wild in it. And I think that's a very good explanation of quadruple witching, is people are forced to make decisions, especially in the last hour of the day. And you just see a big money flow. It's not going to be related to being bullish or bearish, just high volume, high volatility. And once again, that is this Friday. So if you have any questions about quadruple witching, let me know. And also, if you just want to, I don't know, you could probably ask that kid as well. That kid had potential. He had potential. He lost it all. All right. So we did Megan Fox. We did quadruple witching. We do have some questions about inflation. Let's do inflation next. So the CPI numbers, Consumer Price Index. Maybe prices. I don't know if there's an S on it. I just know it's CPI. Anyway, the results came in from August, and actually the inflation was not as bad as expectations kind of were by the general public, which was interesting. These numbers came out early this morning. I don't know, like 8:30 or 9 or something like that. No, it's probably 8:30. That's when a lot of those things come out. But anywho, those numbers came out. Inflation was not as hot as expected. And with that being said, people are like, whoa, maybe the Federal Reserve knows what they're doing. Maybe this inflation is transitory. So that's positive. I mean, honestly, I saw that. I thought the market would be green today on that news because that was definitely like not the expected result by any means. We beat expectations in a positive manner. So I'm pretty surprised that things are continuing to sell off. But that's the market. That is the market. I mean, this is very similar to those situations where a company reports its earnings, it beats earnings, everything's awesome, and then it sells off anyway. It's one thing to get the call right, and then it's a whole different thing to have the market react in the way to you getting that call right. I mean, it's going to be a whole mixed bag of things. But inflation, I still don't think it's transitory. I think what the Federal Reserve has done with this policy referred to as quantitative easing, unlimited quantitative easing, has sped up money velocity to such a degree that we will be battling inflation for a hot minute. So I don't buy it that it's transitory, but the most recent monthly CPI information is actually saying, hey, things are actually not that bad. But we'll see. We don't want inflation to go up. That just devalues a lot of things. I also think in an interesting way, if inflation goes up, it kind of does give additional credence to the value of crypto. Because you can't just print more crypto the way they're printing more USD. But that's kind of what's going on with inflation. If you want to see some of the updates, you could just search some of the most recent news. I know CNBC had an article on it, and we also touched on it pretty early, like before this stream, early morning stream before the market opened. Okay, so we've gone through Megan Fox, quadruple witching, and now inflation. Let's talk about covered calls and let's talk about calls. Let's talk about covered calls. Then we'll go into spreads, specifically spreads on Tiblio. And from there, we could take a looky-see at SPRT and BBIG. Okay, so let's talk about calls. Let's talk about options. Options. Draw. How do you, what's like quick draw? Nope. How do I doodle? Like, what's that? What's like the drawing thing where I can draw stuff? Oh, is it draw.io right here? Is this it? Decide later. Oh wait, I just thought there was like a draw thing. I want to draw. Draw. Where can I draw? What's that website? Does anyone know? Whiteboard. Free Google Draw. Whiteboard. Online game. Nope, I don't want that. Microsoft Paint. Microsoft Whiteboard? Online? Maybe? Who knows? I mean, there has to be a website that just does this. All right. Microsoft Whiteboard. We're supposed to... Jamboard. A lot of people are saying Jamboard. Jamboard. Can I draw on this? I don't have Jam. I just want something where I could draw. Paint. MS Paint. If I spell paint right. What's Hey, this could work. Folks, this could work. Okay. Do. I want a bigger eraser. Okay. Okay, how's this one? Okay, so you have two types of options. One is a call and one is a put. So a call is your right to buy. And a put is your right to sell. So, for example, when you buy a call, you're saying on or before a certain expiration date, you are engaging in a contract to buy 100 shares per contract at that strike price. So if you buy AMC at a strike of 50 and it's trading at 60, the person who sold you the premium sold you the contract. Tough noogies, brother. You owe whoever bought it from you 100 shares per contract at 50. So for example, that's where it gets its value. If it's trading at 60, you have an intrinsic value of 10 because 60 minus 50 is 10. So your call is your right to buy. No matter what it's at, you have the legal right to buy stock at the strike price because that's what the contract says. If it's trading above it, below it, at it, it doesn't matter. That's your contract. You can exercise it, as in convert it from the contract to say, yes, give me that stock. You can do it that on or before the expiration date. Another thing that we have here is, I guess people have that big question. Okay, like some of the biggest confusion I see about it is more of like, okay, do you have to wait to expiration? No, you don't have to. You could do it on the day of expiration or anytime up until expiration. Another big question I see is you don't actually have to exercise it. Exercise means literally turning that option contract into stock if it's a call option. You could just sell it because it itself, it's a derivative. Options are a derivative asset class. You could just sell it. Options have value called premium. If the premium's 1, which multiply it by 100 because each one represents 100. So a premium of 1 is actually $100. If it's trading at 2, well, that's actually worth $200. And you could just sell the premium to someone else and you would pocket $100. So there's 3 ways to get out of an option contract. You either exercise it, you sell it, or it just expires out of the money worthless and if it just goes to 0. So whatever you spent in the premium is your max loss. A put right here, the second one. So if your first one is your right to buy, your second one is your right to sell. So if you own a put contract on, let's say, stock XYZ, and you have a put contract for 25, but it's actually, say, trading at 18, you have the right to sell it at 25. It doesn't matter that it's trading at 18. So right there, that's your money, is the fact that you know someone is willing to buy it off of you for $25, even if the stock is trading at 18. So right there, that's obviously how you make your money, because even if you don't own the stock, you could just buy it at 18 and you know someone's going to buy it off of you at 25. So right there, that is your right to sell. And just so you know, calls and puts are the perfect inverse of each other. So if you understand one very well, say for example, calls, a put literally just inverse it. A call is your right to buy, a put is your right to sell. They're the exact same things, just the exact opposite. They're the same, the polar opposite. So if you understand one, or if you understand how to do something with one, you would do the exact opposite with the other to get the same scenario. So remember, a call is a legal right to buy a stock at a certain price. A put is a legal right to sell a stock at a certain price. If you buy a call, typically you are bullish. And this is if you buy it. And then if you buy a put, you are typically bearish. This is kind of interesting. I feel like this is good. I'm going to sell this as an NFT later, just so everyone knows. The bidding starts at two trident layers. The stock market's still red, not much going on there. So let's go back to the teaching session. Okay, so let's say you have man, this is actually harder than it looks. Okay, so let's talk about this stock, XYZ. Okay, so you have XYZ, and this is what it trades at. Let's say here's 50. Let's say here's 55. And then down here, let's say this is 40. Now let's talk about covered calls. So we're not talking about puts anymore. We're talking about calls. What does a covered call mean? So a covered call is something you're allowed to engage in most of the time. Well, actually, technically, a covered call is when you have the underlying stock. So let's say you own XYZ and you have to own 100 shares, because remember, one contract represents 100 shares. So a covered call is when you sell one call. You sell a call. You don't buy a call. You sell a call at whatever strike price. And you could sell one contract per 100 shares you own. So let's say you own 100 shares of XYZ. That means you can sell one call against your XYZ position, and you pick a strike. So what you're looking for in a covered call is for it to not exceed that value. As long as it's at or below that value on the day of expiration, you get all of the premium that you sell it for. So for example, let's say that you sell a $50 call for XYZ for this Friday. You could pick the strike price, you can pick the date, and you'll see as you go farther out, or really as you go deeper in the price, you're going to get more money. And whatever premium you sell it for, you get that. That's your amount. And so you could pick your risk accordingly, but you keep all the money as long as it's at or below. So for example, if you sold it for September 17th at 50 and it was there or below, I'm talking 49.99 all the way down to zero, you keep all that premium. If it's above it and the person exercises it, well, you get the profit of your inherent stock position, because remember, you own 100 shares of XYZ. So let's say it's at 42 and it trades all the way up to 50. You would keep all of that money up to 50. But above it, and you also keep the premium. As soon as you sell the premium, it's yours. So you're somewhere in this zone because it rides up to 50. That's your strike price. If they choose to exercise it, that means that before, when we were talking about calls, that's their legal right for you to have to give them the shares at $50. So that's the worst case scenario, is if it expires, if you get to the day of expiration and it expires and it's above 50 and they choose to exercise, you lose your stock. So really, I would say the biggest risk with covered calls is if the stock ends up exploding in that time period, you're going to miss out on a lot of those extra gains. But selling a covered call, there's not really much risk to it. Your risk is minimizing your profits. If that tracks. Now, there is another thing. So it's called selling a covered call. You could also sell a naked call. And that means when you sell these XYZ calls, but you don't have the underlying stock. And that could be an issue, because if they choose to exercise it, that's very, very risky, because you have to go out and get the shares and give it to them at the strike price. And if it's trading above 50, well, you're paying a premium, and then you're going to lose it because you're only giving it to them at 50. And that's called selling naked calls. On most brokerages, you have to have like level 4 option trading to do it. And I highly suggest not doing it because it's crazy, crazy risky. But in a certain sense, that's actually kind of maybe just to connect some dots here, that's kind of actually what relates to these people in the options market hedging. Because if they sold all this premium, remember, if they sold all those calls out of the money, and if they're doing naked call sells and like they don't own the underlying stock, that's what we're talking about with the hedging, is because as it goes up, well, they don't want to get blown out of the water because they're going to have to give someone all that stock. That's exactly why we talk about the hedging. As it goes above 50, they're going to buy it at 50 just in case someone chooses to exercise it. They don't want to lose any money. And for them in this scenario, let's say if it's trading at 55, if they choose to hedge it there and the person exercises, well, they're out $5 per share. So that's exactly why they hedge, as the price brings the contracts from out of the money to in the money. So once again, covered calls, pretty basic. You own 100 shares per covered call that you're attempting to sell. You sell it at a strike price, and your hope is that it does not exceed that strike price by the time of expiration. If it goes above it, and then back below it, you are still good. It's not like once it goes above it, you're screwed. It's where is it at on the day of expiration, just so everyone knows. It's not like once it goes above it, like you lose the contract, blah, blah, blah. No. It has much more to do what's it actually doing at expiration. So that's your quick covered call. And this will actually be better. So we did that. Let's talk about spreads. Let's check on the stock really quick. AMC trading at 47.17, GME trading at 198.50. The SPY's at 443.16. IWM still looking kind of weak over here. All right, let's talk about spreads, credit spreads. So a spread just basically means that, well, really, in this case, you're buying one and selling another. So for a credit spread, also can be referred to, I guess, in a certain sense as a vertical is another term you might hear. But basically, you're either dealing with two calls or two puts. You never mix and match. Two calls or two puts, never mix and match. You're selling one call and buying another call, or you're selling one put and buying another put. So for example, if you're on Tiblio, you always sell the first number. If you're talking about a call, so if this is your price level, let's use this again. If this is your price level, you're selling one call, maybe the 50 and the 55, and this is where you're currently trading. Let's say you're trading like, I don't know. Well, this should be 45, not 40. I can't believe no one called me out on that. Let's say you're trading right here, as you could tell from the dot. You sell the call, you pick prices above it. You could go below it, but that's pretty ballsy. Anyway, you sell the closer one and you buy the farther one away. Same thing with puts. So these are calls, a call credit spread. You sell the closer one to the price and you buy the one that's farther away. Same thing with puts. You sell the closer one, so you would sell the 45 and then you would buy the 40. Whatever the closer to your price is, you sell the closer one, you buy the farther away one. So the way you would see that on Tiblio, you sell the first number and you buy the second number. And remember, you either do it with two calls or two puts. So for example, right here, the two calls on what's one that we would all recognize. Let me see. Where's this? Okay, SPY. So a SPY call, you would sell the 450, you would buy the 451. And that makes sense because right now the SPY is trading at 443. Once again, you are selling the closer one, you are buying the farther away one. And then the reason you do that is you're credited the first one as if you were doing a covered call. And then you are, it's kind of in a certain way referring to as a poor man's covered call, because you're synthetically representing that you have the 100 shares, but instead of having the 100 shares, you have a call contract that represents that, and you end up keeping the net difference if you're right. So in this scenario, your profit, your max profit is made if you stay below that volume, the first price level, the exact same way as a covered call. You want it below the price. And then if you're dealing with puts, it would be the exact opposite. With a put, you want it above the first level. And for puts, it'll be the opposite, just because like these numbers are higher. Because remember, buying a put is a downward bet. So let me find the SPY one. For this one, you're looking for it to remain above 434. This is the one you would sell. And then you would buy the 433. Once again, you would keep the difference in between these two premiums. And you're just basically, you make your max profit in terms of a put covered spread by being above 434. So remember, with a credit spread, it involves either two calls, two puts. You sell the closer one. If it's a call, you'll be on the top side. If it's a put, you'll be on the bottom side. You sell the number that is closer to the current price of the stock or the ETF, and you buy the one that is farther away. If you wanted to, you could do two credit spreads. You could do a call one and a put one. If you think the stock's not going to move at all, that is a strategy that definitely exists. But with Tiblio, if you're using Tiblio, all you have to do is sell the first number, buy the second number. And what's cool is you could see your max return percentage, your max loss, your percentage of profitability, not max profitability, just profitability. And you could, and make sure they're on the same expiration date. That's also important. The two calls, the two puts, they have to be on the same expiration date. So that's your quick breakdown of that. All of these that we're going through, this credit spread stuff, the cover calls, I do have standalone videos on either this channel or on the Kohrs Lite channel, just if you want to look into it, just so everyone knows. But we did that. And the other two things that I have here are people are pretty interested in both SPRT and BBIG. But before we get into that, let me just double check one thing. One thing, right? What is going on? All right, cool. All right. AMC 4721, GME 199. So people are asking about SPRT. SPRT is, this is not a technical thing right now. This is not a chart you would want to do technicals on. And the reason for that is, to my understanding, today is the final day. This is the final 20 minutes that SPRT is trading, folks. It is about to be absorbed, aka acquired, by GREE. That is the ticker it will be trading under. I think someone earlier today was saying that it will be about 8% of the company. So with SPRT, very honestly, do I think that it has an absurd short interest? Yeah. But as soon as you like lop that off by like 0.08%, like SPRT, the heyday of SPRT when it lives a part of GRE, it might be done. All of your mindset of what's going on with SPRT, you can't carry that mindset exactly forward because Greenidge, the company it's merging with, like it has its own interest. And like, honestly, the short interest might become higher. I don't know. You have to look into the new company and see what's going on. But I'm saying what you think of as SPRT in the next 20 minutes, it is donezo. It will be different tomorrow. Completely different fundamentals, completely different short interest, completely different utilization, completely different everything. It's essentially a whole new company. Because SPRT, if this number is right, it's only 8% of what the new company will be. So you have to look into the new company. Any of your current mindset on SPRT, it ends in 20 minutes. You have to, and I'm not saying it's a done play by any means. I'm saying now you have to factor in all these new things. You have to see what's going on with Greenidge. You have to look at that information. You have to look at the short interest, the float, the shares on loan, the utilization, because right now that stuff will not carry through one-to-one. And right now, the reason this is kind of happening, at least to my understanding, is that Greenidge is not a public company. So it's going to be public tomorrow. So we're looking at the melding of the numbers and the fundamentals and really all the important data metrics of two distinct companies. And Greenidge is the bigger one. So that one will kind of dominate the show. So once again, SPRT, if you own it, it will end up turning into GREE. If you own SPRT stock, it will turn into GREE stock, but not a one-to-one match. You're actually going to get a lot fewer shares of GREE because of the proportionate conversion, just so you know. But right here, it's not having a good day. It's down 39%. But this thing only lives for about 18 more minutes, and then starting tomorrow, it will be trading under GREE. Just so everyone knows, I'm not 100% positive about this, but just from the little things I found during break today and also last night, is I think the same proportionate conversion will happen if you happen to have options contracts. But in all reality, I have never held options contracts through a ticker change merger event. I just don't want to. There's too many unknowns. So I was just like, well, why would I take on this risk? But I do think that the proportionate rate, last night I was reading about SPRT, is about 0.115, I think. Someone might want to fact check me on that, but basically what you own, just multiply it by 0.115, and that's how many shares of GREE you will have. But please, like, someone needs to check me on that. I do think it's 0.115, or maybe it's 0.15. I think it's 0.115, just so everyone knows what's going on with that. But this is the final day that SPRT as a ticker will be trading. And just so you know, I've run into this. This is a little bit of an aside, but I've run into this issue myself. SPRT, another company can actually claim that ticker. Like once a ticker is done, another one can claim it. And it's kind of funny because some data providers don't fix the chart. So you could have two completely different companies that at different points in time are trading under the same ticker. And you see that on the chart. It's not like they restart the entire chart. So some of them, and that's like, I don't know, it's just bad data that people need to look into. But that is possible. So like I don't know, next week, let's say that we started a company, we could actually have it trade under SPRT. Like you can get that ticker if it's an unused ticker, which is kind of interesting. I've run into that issue myself when I have to go back to certain timeframes, especially my days of developing those algorithms. When you're looking at certain stocks, you have to know if it was like a completely different company or something like that. And it's a pain in the ass to track that info down. All right, so the other one that people wanted to know about is BBIG. BBIG is looking weak. It does pain me to say that, but this is why I was telling everyone to have a game plan. This is why I was telling everyone to have a risk tolerance. And this is why I was telling everyone to not get greedy. Now, is BBIG done? Not necessarily, but I strongly believe it's coming back to $7, maybe even overshooting $7 a little bit. Right now, it's trading at $7.84. I think there's a much greater chance of BBIG seeing $7 before it sees $10. Now, are both of those possible? Yeah, of course. It could drop to $7, bounce off of it, and return right back up to $10. But right now, you can't argue with the weakness. And that it doesn't make me happy to say that. I have no BBIG position. I'm just trying to give you an unbiased opinion of what's going on. I've been in BBIG. I've locked in gains on BBIG, and now I'm out of BBIG. Right here, I'm seeing, and this is very, very important, I'm seeing a pattern in which everyone is starting to treat every stock they're in as if it's an AMC or GME, and that is a very, very bad mindset. You cannot go around diamond handing everything and just hoping that everything comes back. That is bad. That is a bad methodology. If you do it time and time again, you're going to blow up your account. I can't guarantee it, but I feel like I can pretty much guarantee. If you go around tracing these low float, highly shorted stocks and you just always buy and hold and you think that's the methodology, you will go to zero. Your account will blow up on you. You cannot treat other things as if they're like AMC and GME. And the difference is the community behind it. AMC and GME have become symbolic of a fight against Wall Street and the illegitimate acts that take place on Wall Street. As of this moment, BBIG, SPRT, ATER, ANY, BGFE, none of those are in the same symbolic class as AMC or GME. They just aren't. One day, could they become? Yes. But as of today, September 14th, 3:46 p.m. in 2021, they are not. It could change. I'm not saying it's not going to change, but as of right now, these other ones, you're being introduced into the world of like trading. AMC and GME are not really trading. AMC and GME are it's a bet. It's a weird pseudo bet on us changing Wall Street. BBIG, SPRT, ATER, no, that's a bet on just like shorts getting squeezed and you're trying to make money in a quick trade. So please, especially, I don't even know how many people are listening right now, but if you're listening to me, I beg of you to not put any other stock that you ever know in the same category of AMC and GME, because something like AMC and GME, it's a black swan event. It's a cultural wildfire that has never happened before, and it might not happen again. Like, I don't know if there's going to be another stock ever that gets elevated to the same level of the public's fight against Wall Street. There's a very specific reason why people are diamond handing AMC and GME, but not other things. There is a very, very important reason for that. Am I against BBIG, SPRT, ATR? No. If you're in it, I want you to make money, but I also want you to understand that you stepped into the world of more active trading. And with that being said, make money both ways. That's okay. Ride it up, ride it back down, or ride it one way. If you missed the ride up, wait for it to show weakness, then ride it down. I really don't care, but I'm just saying, like, you are now taking a step into the world of active trading and a step outside of the world of diamond handing every single day in and out. It's a completely different class of trading stock. With respect to BBIG, I'm looking for it to come down to 7, and then I want to see how it reacts to 7. I think that this thing does have another $1 of downside, and then I will reevaluate at 7 and see what happens from there. All right, what else do we have going on? I think we have some questions. What do you think about DNN? So DNN, I think, has been the benefit of the push in uranium. I'm not the biggest fan because not that long ago it was a penny stock, but also all these uranium related things are doing well. This one's a bit chasey. It's been moving ever since July 23rd. You already missed 60% of the move. On books to read on the market and trading strategy. Yeah, Zelver Ace. In the description of all my videos, I have some of my book recommendations. And from GREE's 1A from the SEC. What am I looking at? Does this do the conversion, the 0.115 conversion? Is that what that's saying? If Kenny calls, tell him to drop 4660 so we can play SSR gains tomorrow. So if GGRE opens at 202 tomorrow, 1 GRE equals 8.6 SPRT, and the current value of SPRT times 8 is at 104. That's the theory that it's a 2x. Is that the conversion? Oh, okay. So the 8.6, is that what the 0.115 is? Is that the ratio? 1210 times 10. So people are thinking that at these levels, SPRT trading at 1180 roughly, I guess I'm getting from these Discord comments, that GRE will open up in like the realm of $100, I believe. Feels weird how much I know about Megan Fox. You and me both, but hey, we did some Megan Fox TA. It's worth it. There seems to be confusion in the group about whether or not shorts have to buy back shares by end of tomorrow or not. They don't have to. Check the Reddit group for SPRT on the full DD. Several members spoke with a trader investor representative from the company handling the merger. They have confirmed that shorts cannot. Oh, whoa. Hold up. They have confirmed that shorts cannot roll their shorts into GREE. GREE does not exist yet. If they want to short GREE, they must first close their SPRT short position by the merger date, end of tomorrow, and then borrow shares of GREE once they become available, and then sell it if they want to short it. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. And the only reason I'm saying it doesn't seem right is there is no way. There is no way on a day that SPRT drops 37% that they were able to cover. I don't know where you got that from, but it does not seem right. It doesn't pass like the logic test. The short interest is 98%. 98%. How would they have possibly covered today? I didn't see any covering in SPRT today. I mean, we are talking about 9.11. Okay, let's say minimum 7 million shares of SPRT. We have traded 45. So that's saying that 1 in 7 shares was just a short covering today. No way. The day's a red day. It's down 37%. I don't know where you got that, Em. I just don't. That was posted yesterday. I mean, yeah, no. It's not right. I strongly believe that the shorts will be carried forward because if they had to all cover today, they would have covered today and we would have seen SPRT sky high. It just doesn't make sense to me that we would have seen something with the short interest of 98%. And in fact, they borrowed more against it today. I get you're saying that it was posted on Yahoo Finance. So that's 2 days in a row that Yahoo Finance gets a ding against it. I'm just not buying it. All right. People are asking about ATER. ATER looks weak. Looks weak right now. Once again, it's not done. It's at a level of support at 11. We have more support at 10. Important support at like 9. But it's running up. I mean, this is a huge run up, and I think people are kind of getting caught with being a bit too greedy. It ran up 477% from August 20th until September 13th. Like, how much more did people, I guess, like really think that this thing was going to go? And look at that. It ran perfectly into resistance. Check this out. Oops. So yesterday, I mean, we actually called this out in real time. 1910, look exactly where it got rejected at the end of May. 1910. And I'm not saying it's done, but I'm just saying right now the Bears, like the Bulls were in control from August 20th until now, September 13th. And then starting today, the Bears have become in control. And I think there's a good shot that they run this down to $10, maybe $9. Let's see if it bases there and maybe starts to rip again. That's obviously a possibility, but like I'm seeing too many people do this, this diamond-handed technique on AMC and GME that we're seeing there on other stocks. And I think that is a very, very unhealthy mechanism. I think it's an unhealthy trading methodology. I think that diamond-handed argument exclusively applies to, in the world of stocks, to AMC and GME. And I would not diamond hand any other stock right now. Any other stock, I'm watching my risk, I'm watching my reward, I'm figuring out what is going on in real time. I have no issue with riding it up, riding it back down. You can make money both ways. I see too many people thinking every single stock out there is just like AMC or GME. And I know I'm repeating this and I know I'm beating a dead horse, but if I can save someone out there a little bit of money, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Down bad in SPRT, 6K currently, worth riding the merger out or just taking one on the chin. Appreciate you. I don't know. It depends. Like GREE is going to be the one running the show as of tomorrow. So I can't tell you good or bad. I could just tell you that it's a lot more related to GREE as a company than it is support.com from here on out. I have 16, 49, 10, 1, 15, 60 for 10. What do you think? I got them 2 weeks ago, down a bit. Would you dump? Not financial advice. I mean, I dumped all of my AMC calls today and switched over to shares just because the volatility is drying up. There is a way in options where even if you get the direction right, if volatility goes down, you still lose money. So that's another thing. I think people are like hopping into options way too easily and treating it as if it's stock, and it is not stock. It is very different. It's an incredibly different, more difficult derivative class. On options, you are betting on three individual things for you to be right. Not only are you betting on the direction of the stock, you're betting on it happening very rapidly, and you're also betting on it happening in more of a volatile manner than the stock's already been performing in. So right now, do I like AMC? Do I like the direction of the stock? Yes, that's why I bought more today. Do I like the volatility at the moment in time? No, I still think we're going to be suffering through IV crush. So I'm just kind of waiting on that to play out so the volatility can come back in. All right, what else do we have going on? What else do we have? And Megan Fox is a buyer, ATER. All right, where are we at? All right. What else do I see? Anything to go over? Not really. Matt, can you clarify with respect to Ortex data, how much of it is delayed by 2 days? Technically, none of it. You could argue that the what we care about, the short interest is. I guess there's that argument, but that's about it. Everything else is real time. Matt, if my average is 24, will it negatively affect my gains, or should I open a new account and buy more? There would be no difference whatsoever. Financially for you, buying on that same account or a different account, literally no difference whatsoever on your total net worth as like a human or an ape, whatever you identify as. Mexicanos del Mundo, message retracted. I like the mystery. Zach Poole, the Discord is in the description of the video. SPRT options convert the same 0.115 rate. 100 share contract becomes an 11.5 share contract. It's in the filing. Okay, thank you so much for that clarification. That's what I was seeing. So I don't know if we read the same thing, but it sounds like I read actually someone's write-up on it. It sounds like you read the filing. Okay, so I feel a little bit more confident in everything being converted. Long positions, short positions, calls, and puts sounds like they're all going to be properly converted to GREE. All right, it looks like we have 10 seconds left on this Tuesday, September 14th. Let's see. Ding, ding, dingity, ding, 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 dingity, ding, 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 ding. The market is closed, folks. The casino is closed. Here is the dealio. First of all, thank you so much for all of your support. I'll be putting out an update video tonight, and then I will be once again streaming bright and early 9 a.m. tomorrow. But honestly, days like today, hey, it's not a fun day. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Like, I'm not here to bullshit you. Not the best day, but please keep in mind where we've been, where we're going. The stock market does naturally ebb and flow, and all of this, no matter what stock you're in, that's why you have to have some sort of trading plan. You definitely have to have some sort of trading plan. So on days like today, you're not stuck like a deer in the headlights. You know exactly what you're going to do in whatever scenario. That is why everyone listening right now needs a highly specific trading plan so you know how to react in every scenario. Very, very important. And if anything, today is a good teaching lesson. And honestly, today's like I get that the energy is low and the emotional, response is low, but days like today are the days I buy. I bought today. When things are down, I'm shopping on discount. It's honestly that simple. When days are green, I sit back and I enjoy my P&L. It's that simple. Nothing more, nothing less. I'll be posting that update video tonight, streaming bright and early, 9 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you for the support, whether you subscribed, dropped a like, commented, became a member, joined the Discord, any of that. Thank you so much for your support. Even if you just had good vibes, thank you so much. And remember, from me and Cher, best of luck in the markets.